Welcome, 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 collectors. Queen here, back here giving another general intuitive energy read. We're going to do a quick flip energy read. So, I'm going to take what resonates and leave what does not. Alright? So, let's tap into this energy and see what Spirit would like to reveal to you at this time. Thanks for tapping in. I really appreciate you guys. Sending you nothing but love and high vibrations. Wow, damn, it's always jealous and envious this shit going on somewhere here. Let's see. Let's hear Spirit. Like I said, this is a quick flip energy read, so take the part that resonates with you. Oh, my nose itching. Need the rest for somebody else. I don't give a fuck. Okay? I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Alright? Somebody don't give a fuck about something here. Somebody's letting somebody know how they feel. Somebody don't give a fuck. I don't know. Somebody don't give a fuck about the private relationship. They don't give a fuck. Okay? It's over. It's done with. What's done is done. Somebody don't give a fuck about the private relationship. Somebody just fucking over it. They just fucking over it. Like, that's what I'm hearing. So what else is here? Somebody don't give a fuck about the damn private relationship. About the fucking secrets. They just don't give a fuck. I mean, somebody literally don't give a fuck. About the private relationship, the fucking secrets, they don't give a fuck. What else is here? Yeah, that's what I'm going to title this video. I don't give a fuck. Wow. Somebody fears rage, but you don't give a fuck. Somebody got some built up emotions, but you don't give a fuck. Somebody got some overwhelming thoughts, but you don't give a fuck. I'm hearing somebody angry, somebody mad, collective, but you don't give a fuck. Alright. Let's keep going, Spirit. You don't give a fuck. Somebody really expressing themselves. What's going on here, Spirit? Take what resonates with you and leave the rest. I mean, somebody just simply don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? They don't give a fuck. I mean, that's how they feel. They don't give a fuck about this whole witch. They don't give a fuck. You don't give a fuck about the whole witch, okay? Wow. You don't give a fuck about the envy. You don't give a fuck. You don't give a fuck about the Jezebel. You don't give a fuck. You don't give a fuck about the copycat. You don't give a fuck. Let's get a few more. What else? Because you're in your high priest or high priestess energy, that's why you don't give a fuck. You use your intuition. That's why you don't give a fuck. Okay? Wow. Wow. Your inner knowing is your best guide. That's why you don't give a fuck. You follow your intuition. You don't give a fuck. You don't give a fuck if they mad. You don't give a fuck about the copycat. You don't give a fuck about Jezebel. You don't give a fuck about the whole witch. You don't give a fuck about the envy. You don't give a fuck if they mad. You don't give a fuck if they got some built up emotions. You just don't give a fuck. You don't care if they furious with rage. You don't give a fuck. Like, what, you supposed to be scared of something? No, I don't think so. You don't give a fuck about the secret stuff. You don't give a fuck. That private relationship, you don't give a fuck. What? You don't give a fuck about Jezebel. What else here? You got too much shit going on to be giving a fuck about shit you don't gotta give a fuck about. That's why you don't give a fuck. What's here, Spirit? You don't give a fuck about the karmic. You just simply don't give a fuck. Somebody wants somebody to know they don't give a fuck. Okay? You don't give a fuck about the person having the same sex lover. You don't give a fuck. You might have cared before, but you don't care no more. You don't give a fuck if somebody married. You're going to fuck them anyway. You don't give a fuck. Hey, if your person's a womanizer, you don't give a fuck. You know what they are. So you don't give a fuck. Lust and temptation. If this is somebody that's embodying this energy, they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. Somebody found out their person at the group sex, they don't give a fuck. They shit on reserve. They shit marinate. They don't give a fuck. You having group sex on your person, they don't give a fuck. They said you played out. My collective said you played out, and they don't give a fuck. And I'm going to end it right there, because everything they did to you collective gonna backfire on their ass. That's why you don't give a fuck. All right? Till next time. Peace, love, and light. Namaste for now.